Hello all, welcome to Computer Network. In the previous module, we have learned about what computer network is, and there are some basic components of the computer network which we already have studied about. In today's module, we are going to learn how all these computer networks work. There are two famous reference models for the working of these communication networks, and that is the OSI reference model and the TCP/IP reference model. But before we start, we should understand what actually is this reference model term means. Now, reference model is a conceptual framework for understanding the relationship between the various intersections of hardware and software. These OSI model and TCPI model, these will be two conceptual models that will be based on the actual hardware and software. So let's start with the OSI reference model. Now, OSI reference model is the reference model for how application can communicate over network. The main concept of this model is that the process of communication between two endpoints in a network can be divided into 7 layers or subgroups. So these 7 layers, which are namely physical layer, data link layer, the network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer, these will be the 7 layers in which this OSI reference model will work. Now when a message is sent from A to B, each of that layer will add some information and pass that particular package to the layer just below it, and that's how the whole packet will reach to the physical layer, which in turn will send the packet over to the other physical layer of the sending point B. That's how this whole setup works. So if we can see that application layer will capture the data, then it will pass that data to the presentation layer will add its own header to the data. That cumulative data will be passed to the session layer will again add its header to data, and this data will be passed to the transport layer. Now in transport layer, that data is segmented into a number of segments, and each segment gets a header of transport layer, and each segment is passed to the network layer. Now network layer will add its header to the segment, and then this particular whole package will be called packets and will be transferred to the data link layer. Now in data link layer will add a header and a trailer both to this packet. Now the whole thing is called frame in data link layer. Now pass this frame to the physical layer, in which it is divided into bits and transferred through the medium to the another physical layer. So you got a brief picture of how these layers are working. We will define each and every layer in detail in the further slides.